Good morning, afternoon, or night, whatever time you're watching this. I have a couple of questions for you. With all the snow that we've had recently, are you a little sick of the cold? Ready to maybe put on flip-flops, get out of the long sleeves, or just ready to sit there and relax for a little bit? I know personally as a college student, I am a little bit sick of school and I am a little bit stressed out, but that's alright. So, what I'm going to talk about today is planning a vacation. Not just any vacation, but a cruise. Cruises have been my family's favorite vacation by far. We've been on 3. We went on 1 with Royal Caribbean and 2 with Carnival. And they have just created so many memories, and we have so many different things that we love about them. And so what I'm going to talk about today is planning one. A lot of different stuff goes into planning a cruise. My mom typically starts planning our family cruises about a year to a year and a half in advance because they do take a lot of time. First things first, not only do they take a lot of time to plan, but they also take a lot of money, and you have to start early enough in advance that you can save all the money that you're going to need. The 5 main things that you need money for are lodging, food, travel expenses, souvenirs, and excursions. Lodging, typically with cruises, they are all inclusive, so when you pay for your lodging, you also get your food. So rooms run about $350 to $400 a person. If you don't want the room with the balcony view, if you're okay with just being on an interior room where you can't necessarily see the ocean right when you get up, then those rooms will average about $350 to $400. If you did want the room where you could see the ocean as soon as you get up, those can run anywhere from $500 to $600 a person. Or if you want a suite, that way you can maybe fit everybody in one room instead of 2 people or 3 people per room. You can get a suite, and those are $800 to $900 a person. But included in your room price, you get all the food you can eat, which is most cruise ships have a buffet that's set up all times of the day, and you can go and eat there whenever you feel like it. It also includes any coffee, tea, or water or juice that you may want, and it includes eating in the dining room, which there are 2 dining rooms on every cruise ship. There's one in the front end of the ship and one in the back, and you get assigned a dining room, and you can eat there breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or all 3 of them, and that is also included in your room price. The only food that you have to pay for out of your pocket is if you want to eat at a specialty restaurant, which some cruise ships have, like steakhouses, or they have Johnny Rockets or stuff like that, and you do have to pay out of pocket for that. And another thing you have to pay out of pocket for is any soda or alcohol you may want. The soda is not included, but you can buy a card, which is $6 a day if you're 18 or older, and it lets you get all of the sodas that you may want for that day. And most cruises are 5 to 7 days, so you could spend anywhere from $30 to $50 because it does include a 15% gratuity to tip the people that are making them for you. So that is not included in your cruise price, so you do have to pay that. Or if you're an alcohol drinker, there is a alcoholic beverage card that is $49.95 a day on most cruises, and also includes a 15% gratuity. So those are any food or drink costs that may be not included in your room. Next cost we're going to talk about is travel expenses. Most cities in the United States are not anywhere near water, and so they don't have cruise ports. If you're lucky and you live in Chesapeake or Norfolk like I do, there is a cruise port right in Norfolk. They're currently not doing cruises out of Norfolk. That starts again sometime this fall, and they'll be doing cruises out of Norfolk again. But my family is planning a cruise right now, and we have to fly. We don't know exactly where we have to fly yet, but if you do have to fly, you have to not only worry about your lodging and your food, but you have to worry about how are you going to pay for the plane tickets. So you have to incorporate that into your budget, and you could be buying plane tickets from anywhere from 1 person to 4 people, like my family does. And so that's an extra cost. Or you could fly, or you could drive to your ship. And if you drive to your ship, you have to incorporate gas costs, and you also have to park your car in a parking garage for the duration of your trip, which also costs anywhere from $10 to $20 a day, just depending on how safe you want it and what part of town it's in. So you have to consider that too. Another thing that you have to put in your budget is money for souvenirs. I mean, who goes on vacations and doesn't get a souvenir? I always do. My personal favorite things to get when I go on a cruise are these little turtles that always have the inscription of wherever you go to visit on them, and they're often made out of seashells or different wood or things that are down there, and so I get all of those when I go to different places, and they're some of my favorite things, and every place that I've ever gone always has them. So make sure that you provide money for souvenirs and make sure you have it, because you're going to want something whether you realize it or not. And fifth and final cost that I'm going to talk about is excursions. These are basically little adventures that you can go on wherever you're visiting. And it's where a local takes you out on the town, so to speak, and shows you something cool about where they live and just lets you see a little bit about the place that you're visiting instead of just looking at it and saying, oh, it's pretty, you get to go explore. My favorite excursion that I ever went on was a dolphin swimming excursion. It was a ton of fun, and I got to go with my sister and my aunt and my uncle, who I never really get to see, so it was a great time, and I really loved it. Next question, where do you want to go? There are so many places to go on cruises. You can go to the Virgin Islands, you can go to Mexico, you can go to Alaska, you can go to New England. Personally, I like the Virgin Islands a lot. I've been there 3 times, and they are my favorite. But you got to make sure that the time of year that you're able to go on the cruise fits with the time of year that's best to be in that particular area. Say you want to go to the Virgin Islands, you can either go through June or August, which is the on season, so it's going to be really, really busy, and cruises are going to be expensive because everybody wants to go. Or you can go from February to mid-April. Those cruises are typically a little cheaper because it's the off season, so we typically try to pick those ones, personally, for my family. If you want to go to Mexico, the best time is February to mid-April. And if you want to go to Alaska or New England, the best time to go is in the fall because the foliage and everything up there is really, really beautiful. Next question, who do you want to cruise with? Like I said, I've been on a cruise with 2 different cruise lines. I went with Royal Caribbean and I went with Carnival. And I have to say Carnival was my favorite, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about both. Royal Caribbean, the experience that I had, was that they were fit more for adults, which I am an adult, but at the time that I went, I was 15, and I wasn't really interested in being quiet and relaxing and the whole serenity thing. It just wasn't what I wanted to do. I wanted to go out and play games and have fun and meet people my age, and Royal Caribbean isn't really geared for that. So if you're looking for peaceful and serenity and nothing but relaxation the whole time, they are definitely the cruise line for you. But if you're not, you might want to look more at Carnival. Carnival has honestly given me the best experience. They are more family centered. Every night they have game nights and they have dance parties on the deck and different clubs that you can go to, and I mean all the ships and even Royal Caribbean have like casinos and cruises or clubs, but they're not always open or doing the same things on different ships. So Carnival is definitely more of a party cruise. So if you're looking to stay out late, have a good time, make some memories, do a couple crazy things that you would never normally do, Carnival is definitely the cruise for you. You would definitely enjoy it a lot more. And last but not least, what should you take with you? It's not just average packing. There's a couple things that you have to have. Most cruises, if you're on international water, are going to make you take a passport, and those take a long time to get. You have to send them and get them approved and get them sent back and get them all set up. So you need to start planning in advance, and if you don't, you're not going to have it in time, and that's going to really cause an issue because you have got to have it. And it also counts as a form of identification. My family, we always take at least 2 forms of identification. We take a passport and we take our driver's license. You never know when something's going to get lost or when they're going to ask or if something's going to come up that you need it for, so make sure that you have it. You're also going to want clothes for the climate that you're visiting. Like right now, it is really, really cold here in Virginia, but if I was going to the Virgin Islands tomorrow, I would be packing my shorts and my flip-flops because that's the time of year that it is. So make sure that you check the weather in the area you're visiting before you leave, because You're either going to get down there and you're going to have on a hoodie and jeans and it's going to be 89 degrees and you're not going to want to do that. So make sure that you check, because you don't want to show up over or underdressed for the weather that you're going to encounter. And you also definitely want to take with you a camera. There are so many things that happen on cruises and so many different things you do on a cruise or see on a cruise that you may not see or do normally, and you're gonna want pictures of every single bit of it. So make sure that you take a camera with you, or else you'll be really sad that you didn't. So I hope that this was a little bit more information about a cruise that you may not have had before. I really enjoy cruising. I recommend it to anybody. It's a great family vacation, and I hope this helps you out a little bit. Have a good night.